Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. And today we're going to talk about the word orb, O-R-B, orb. From the initial carving of the cosmic expanse, Chug, in Genesis to the radiant unbroken rainbow surrounding the heavenly throne in Revelation, the scriptural metaphors of the word orb form a unified declaration of Yahushua Elohim's total dominance over time and creation. Humanity exists beneath an unyielding canopy of absolute sovereignty, a divine perimeter where no human decree can override his word, and no creature can escape his sight. Operating within the established boundary is the dynamic, churning wheel of his judgment, Galagel, like a heavy stone threshing wheel rolling across the earth. Elohim's active intervention continually breaks human pride, shatters idolized kingdoms, and flattens every high thing that exalts itself against him, clearing the field so that the true righteousness can sweep across the world unhindered. Directing this rolling judgment are the living nested wheels, the angels, filled with all-seeing eyes, revealing the Creator's governance is never blind, chaotic, or accidental. Every movement of history moves along an ordained axle directed by absolute omniscience. Nothing is hidden from his gaze, and his executive will comes instantly in every direction without human permission or constraint. Illuminating this entire divine machinery is the supreme solar orb of the Messiah, the Son of Righteousness, whose blazing truth penetrates every dark corner of earth. Just as no physical organism can hide from the heat of the sun, no spirit or spiritual power can withstand or evade the revealing light and the divine power of Yahushua Elohim as he completes his work. When these metaphors converge at the climax of Revelation, the broken fleeting arcs of human history are swallowed up by the complete 360-degree rainbow orb of emerald light around the throne. The physical sun and moon yield their duties for Yahushua himself, the absolute direct light of all creation. The grand conclusion of Scripture is an illusion. All rebellion will be rolled away like chaff before the whirlwind, and every power in heaven and earth will be brought into subjection. What began as a bounded creation under the vault of heaven ends as a fully restored eternal kingdom, held forever within the unbroken perfect circle of Yahushua Elohim's everlasting covenant. You may be asking, what does that mean for human beings? Let me tell you, scripturally, absolute autonomy is an illusion, but bodily stewardship is very real. You are not a mechanical puppet. You are a breathing subject living within the parameters set by the Creator himself. The scripture doesn't say you have zero agency. It says your agency exists inside of a boundary. Chuck, you choose how to act, love, obey, or resist, but you don't control the framework, the final consequences, or the laws of reality itself, which means you just can't get out of it. Consequences will be given to you by the one who sees all. Elohim does not reach down like a puppeteer and force your hands on the steering wheel. You are free to act, love, obey, or rebel. Yes, scripturally and practically, we are a little bit narcissistic. And let me tell you why. In modern terms, we use narcissism as a clinical label, but the scriptures simply call it the fallen human nature or the pride of the flesh. The difference? Someone's shell might be harder than your shell. Otherwise, everyone has fallen short of the esteem of Yahushua Elohim. There is no perfect one. When it comes to human pride, especially deep-seated narcissistic self-exaltation, and how the scriptural orb Galagel specifically addresses it, here is how the original text pretty much lays it out. 1. In Hebrew, the word Galagel means a revolving spear, a rolling wheel, or a threshing wheel. Scripturally, when the orb wheel interacts with human pride, it carries three explicit functions. A. The threshing wheel, crushing the shell to expose the seed. In ancient Israel, a galagel was the heavy rolling wheel of a threshing wagon. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 26, a wise king scattereth the wicked and bringeth the wheel, galagel, over them. The metaphor, pride constructs a rigid, hardened outer armor, what today might be called narcissistic or self-defense, grandiosity, or delusional entitlement. The galagel rolls over the hardened shell. It doesn't crush the person to obliterate them. It breaks open the inflated, impenetrable ego so that the real individual underneath is exposed to truth. B. The shaft in the whirlwind, showing the weightlessness of pride. Isaiah chapter 17, verse 13. The nations shall rush like the rushing of many waters, but Elohim shall rebuke them, and they shall be chased as the shaft of the mountains before the wind, and like a rolling thing, galagel, a tumbling orb, tumbleweed before the whirlwind. Narcissistic pride projects an image of massive weight, invulnerability, and unshakable power. The galagel metaphor exposes the reality. Before the movement of Yahushua Elohim, human arrogance is utterly weightless. It is a dry, hollow tumbleweed blown across the desert. 2. How scriptural mechanics break narcissism and deep pride. Narcissism and severe pride rely on three core delusions: self-sufficiency, I need no one, I'm not omniscience, I know best, I am never wrong, and impunity, I am above the rules, consequences won't catch me. Scripturally, the orb metaphor breaks each of these three specific delusions. Narcissistic delusion, scriptural orb mechanic, the breaking point. 1. Impurity. No bonds. Chug, the divine boundary, realizing you cannot outrun the perimeter. 2. Self-sufficiency. Galagel, the threshing wheel. Life circumstances flattening. It flattens self-made illusions. 3. Hidden superiority. Orphan. Wheel full of eyes. Total exposure, nowhere left to lie or to perform. Yahusha sees all. 1. Breaking the illusion of control. Chug. A deeply proud person believes they dictate reality for themselves and others. But Isaiah chapter 40, verse 22 establishes the chug, vault, circle, life eventually brings circumstances, illnesses, morality, sudden loss, or irresistible systematic collapse. That forced the proud individual into a corner where their money, charisma, charm, or manipulation falls completely. The boundary proves that human pride was only playing inside a small sandbox all along. 2. Breaking the mask of perfection. Ophan, the eyes, the all-seeing eyes. Ezekiel's vision of the orb wheels. Ophan, covered in eyes. Ezekiel chapter 1 verse 18 represents absolute exposure. A narcissist's greatest fear is being exposed as flawed, vulnerable, or wrong. They live behind false narratives. Scripturally, the all-seeing will means no spin, no gaslighting, and no hidden agenda survives. When Elohim brings the light, the false self constructed by pride collapses because it cannot survive transparency. 3. The collapse of self-depreciation. When the scripture speaks of Elohim breaking pride, it often uses the metaphor of bringing down high towers, lofty mountains, and exalted crowns. Isaiah chapter 2, verse 11 through 12. The lofty looks of men shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down. For someone operating in extreme pride or narcissism, The breaking usually comes in one of two ways: severe humiliation, the Galagel, their own deception catches up to them, their kingdom falls apart, and the wheel of consequences rolls back onto them. Proverbs chapter 26, verse 27. Surrendering at the threshold, they hit an absolute bottom where the weight of maintaining their false godhood becomes too heavy, and they are forced to surrender their autonomy to the Creator. So here's the bottom line. The orb in Scripture tells us that human pride is a temporary bubble inside an absolute reality. A person can pretend they are the center of the universe for a season, but the wheel, Galagel, keeps turning. The eyes keep watching in the divine perimeter. Chug never expands to accommodate human arrogance. Autonomy over your heart and choices is your gift, but absolute control over life, truth, and destiny belongs exclusively to Yahushua Elohim. I have another study that I'm going to do about the word chug, and it has something more to do with the scientificness of it all. Thank you for watching. See ya.